When my dad called girls gross creatures, my sister and I decided that we needed to make a serious life change. My dad's always been a super macho guy that loves football and monster trucks, but I've always thought that was a bit of a front to hide his real insecurities. He's told us many times before that he straight up always wanted sons, but of course, he ended up having 2 girls. Last summer when I broke my ankle skateboarding, he didn't care at all and said, "Be quiet, I don't want to hear about that gross girl crap." I said, "I was literally skateboarding, not that girly." Then he responded, "But I bet you did it really girly, and even busted your ankle like some wimpy girl." I was hanging out with my little 12-year-old sister Lucy in the living room when she started crying and whispered, "I think it happened, and I can't talk to Dad about it because he thinks girls are gross." I instantly knew what she was talking about, and also knew that my dad definitely wouldn't be able to help her with what she needed. In fact, he would only make everything worse and end up giving her some type of complex of insecurity. I had to jump in and be a great big sis. So I took her through the entire process of what to buy and how to use tampons, so the bleeding isn't a big deal, and I shared the different types of feelings that she might have and how her hormones might feel really out of balance and what she could do about it. I mentioned how she might feel towards boys, but not to take that stuff so seriously just yet. I told her about ibuprofen, magnesium supplements, and when to go on hikes or do yoga. She was so relieved and said, "Thank you so much, sis. I can't tell you what a relief it is to have you." And then I told her, "And don't forget the most important thing, candy. Whatever your favorite candy is, Twizzlers, milk chocolate, gummy bears, Snickers, even popcorn works, whatever you love." She smiled big and said, "I can't wait to guzzle down Raisinets with popcorn." Then my dad chimed in from the other room and said, "Are you two talking about gross female crap again? How many times do I need to tell you that no one in this house wants to hear about that stuff? Shut up about it, or take it outside. I swear, y'all are disgusting creatures sometimes. If there wasn't perfume or makeup, women would be these trolls that just lived in trees." I wanted to tell him off so bad for being an idiot that's so unaware of anyone but himself, especially given the fact that my baby sis is so young and sensitive. The scared look on her face told me all I needed to know. No wonder my mom left him for another man and didn't have an ounce of regret. It was at that moment when I knew I'd need to work hard to protect Lily. And after that day, that's when all the mind games started. It was always at dinner, right after we'd start eating, and there was that uncomfortable silence. Dad would read some random headline on his phone and say, "Amazing, there they go again, ruining everything." I would ask, "Who ruins everything?" He would say, "Women," knowing that would bait me in. And at first, I couldn't just let it go. "Do you mean every single woman, everywhere is ruining the entire planet?" He would get that annoying smirk on his face and say, "Yeah, pretty much. If they didn't drive men so nuts with all their OCD and crazy requests, things would be a lot better." I always fought back. "Yeah, because it's women who start wars and go around raping and pillaging people. Yeah, we're totally to blame for ruining everything." Then he would turn inward and cold. Some nights he'd completely ignore anything we asked. I didn't care as much about myself. I had just turned 16 and would be out of the house soon enough. But when Lucy would ask him for lunch money or help on a test, he'd literally just walk out and then I'd be the one helping her. He was totally bipolar because some nights he'd act fun and charming and helpful. Only towards Lucy, never towards me because he had decided that I reminded him too much of Mom, since I looked a lot like her. That's why he pretty much hated everything about me. Lucy was by far his favorite, but even she would piss him off sometimes. One night after dinner he said, "I'm continuously amazed at how manipulative girls are. Your mother proved that to me in so many ways. It's actually pretty dangerous when you think about it." I shared a look with Lucy and decided not to respond to that, but he kept pushing, wanting to pull me into an argument. "You know how manipulative you are, especially at your own age. That's why both of you shouldn't even think about getting a boyfriend right now. You hear me? Don't even think about it. No woman should date until she's at least 25. Those are my house rules. Got it? Don't even let me hear that either one of you is dating a boy." If I wore anything he thought was too skimpy, he'd demand I'd change. For a long time, he referred to me as the older one, and not by my name. I caught him trying to break into my phone one night when I was in the other room and confronted him. "What the hell do you think you're doing? My phone's private, not if I'm the one paying for it." That compelled me to get a job at Polly's ice cream shop, so I could pay for my own phone. I enjoyed seeing his face when I told him that I'd be taking over the cell phone payments. Even that didn't stop him from trying to read my texts. I used to hide my phone when I took showers, just to make sure. He treated Lucy way better than me because he said, "She's still potentially moldable," as if she's a clay pot. When I was at school, I carried so much fear because I didn't feel like I could have anything normal. I'd see other couples holding hands and smiling and kissing each other and wished I could have that one day. I wanted to have sleepovers with friends and be able to go to the movies or homecoming or maybe even prom one day. I just wanted normalcy and to not feel like I was living under some weird surveillance. My dad didn't want me to get my driver's license because he was afraid that I was such a dumb girl that I would kill someone with the car and then he would have to pay for it. He literally said that. My Uncle Ray would visit for the holidays and I couldn't believe how different he was than my dad. He was kind, cool, smart, aware, and normal. Every time he'd visit, my heart ached because I had wished he was my father. I used to cyberstalk Ray and see pictures of his life and what he did and how he had fun, and I'd fantasize about being a part of it. He was the kind of guy that would drop me off on dates and be supportive. Then things got a lot crazier when I met Ethan. I was walking down the hallway and dropped my books when some football player bumped into me. I know, it sounds like some dumb rom-com movie, but it was true. Ethan helped me pick up my books and asked me if I was okay. I had been drawing in a sketchbook since I was 8, and he happened to see a few drawings. He really took his time to actually look at the pictures and comment, "You're really good." I mean it. I'm not just saying that. I appreciated the way he looked me in the eyes when he spoke. It showed confidence and comfort in the way he was with himself. I thanked him for helping me, and he introduced himself and shook my hand like a well-mannered gentleman. I said, "I'm Mara." He repeated my name back to me, making sure that he got it. Then it got a little too intense for me because I couldn't think of anything to say, and I walked away, smiling the whole time. He watched me go because I kept turning back to look at him. He didn't try to hide it. He was interested, as was I. He was the first boy that I ever felt a sense of safety with. When I got home that night, I found myself whistling. I never whistle. Then, of course, my dick of a father heard me, and it was like he could sense that I was experiencing any kind of joy, and he just had to ruin it. "You look like you just manipulated somebody." "Who? Was it?" I snapped back. "Why can't I just be happy for once?" He couldn't let it go. "Because girls are only happy when they've screwed over some poor dude. So who did you screw over?" over. I walked away, any ounce of joy gone. I wish I didn't let him affect me as much as he did, but I was only 16 and didn't know better. The next day after school, I saw Ethan by his locker and we started talking. It felt so easy and free and relaxed that it was like I didn't even know what was happening to me. We exchanged numbers, then I got a bit frightened and said, I've never dated anyone before. Not that we're dating now or anything. It's just, I'm very new at this. Then I felt really dumb and immature and mumbled incoherently. He smiled, took my hand and said, it's okay, I'm also pretty new at this. How about we just start with sitting together at lunch? I was thrilled. Then on my way home, I remembered that I had to keep my joy to myself and not show anything. At dinner that night, I kept my head down and stayed quiet. My father asked, why so quiet? What are you hiding? I defended myself. None of your business. Then he did what he knew would upset me and went after Lucy. Why didn't you score better on your math test? Lucy responded, I got an 82. It's still a B. He cut her off. That's pretty far from 100. You need to study harder. When I walk past your bedroom, all I ever see is you playing Candy Crush and not getting anything done. That's why you got an 82. You're way smarter than that. Don't you realize every single grade counts towards what type of college you get into? That's it. Both of you, give me your phones. I've had enough of this crap. Hand them over right now. Lucy sadly handed hers over and I said, don't give it to him. He doesn't have a right to look at our phones. He cut me off. I have every right. I pay for her phone. And that's why you won't be getting mine. I pay my own way. He glared at me, knowing I was right. That didn't stop him. He still went after my phone and I grabbed it and tried to run. He grabbed me by my arm and tried to steal it out of my hand. I tried to push him away from me, but he was way too strong. He ripped the phone out of my hands and shoved me onto the floor. Lucy started crying. Both of us haven't ever seen him get this rough before. He somehow knew the code to get into my phone, probably from catching me entering it when I wasn't looking, and started reading my texts. Oh, look at what we have here. Ooh, Ethan, heart emoji, heart emoji. Sickening. Look at all of this crap. Oh wow, you're such a talented drawer. How cute. I'm gonna be sick. I tried my hardest to get it back from him, but he kept me away. What did I say about no boys, huh? What did I say? He hurled my phone across the room and it smashed into the wall. I retrieved it, but it was busted. I took Lucy's hand and we ran into my room and locked the door. Something had set him off and he was getting darker and angrier by the day. I went to the phone store the next day and luckily they could fix it. Ethan wanted me to hang out with him after school and I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't want to tell him about my dad because I felt like he'd judge me for having daddy issues or whatever the boys called it, and I just didn't want to make things difficult. I told him that I just needed a little more time before hanging out after school. A few days later, I came to. School and Ethan seemed really weird and cold towards me. He usually smiled when he saw me and would ask me a bunch of questions about my day or whatever. This time, he barely said 2 words. Then when I went to sit next to him at lunch, I saw him sitting with his 2 friends instead. I was gut punched, shocked, hurt, and really confused. I didn't say anything that was insulting or weird to him, so why was he acting like this? It went on for a few days, and finally I confronted him at his locker and asked, what's up with you? How come you're so cold towards me now? He looked angry and said, I should ask you the same thing. I was so confused. Then he said, you're the one who texted me saying I only hang out with you because you feel sorry for me. I responded, horrified. I never texted you that. Then it hit me. My asshole father was behind this. Can I see your phone with our texts? I think I know what happened. He showed it to me, and there it was. A string of texts of my father pretending to be me and putting Ethan down. When I looked at my phone, the texts were completely erased. I explained through tears and told him that I was so sorry, and this made me explain who my father truly was. He understood, and was also relieved that he at least knew the truth. That was the first time he pulled me in and kissed me. In that moment, I visited heaven. But I couldn't let my father get away with this. I went home, saw him sitting and drinking a beer on the couch and said, it wasn't that hard to figure out what you did, but the good news is, all you did was make our love stronger. He glared at me with that same smug look and said, I'm protecting you because you're too stupid to see that boys only want one thing. I'm trying to save you from embarrassing yourself and that's the thanks I get? Amazing. Like I always say, you girls are the most manipulative, destructive idiots on earth. Lucy walked in and he started in on her. Hey, listen up. If any boys even look at you weird, you tell them to F off and die. You hear me? I couldn't let that one go. Stop filling her head with your toxic crap. If she gets a crush on someone that's perfectly normal, stop putting all of your bullshit into her pretending that you know what you're talking about. You don't know crap. That was a turning point because he stood up and chucked his beer can across the room and nailed me in the head. I saw stars, fell down to one knee and slowly gathered myself. I walked into my room and understood that this was only going to get worse and that I needed to make a plan. The next day after school, I was walking down the hallway with Ethan and he took my hand. For the first time in my life, I felt like just a normal kid with a boyfriend and I fit right in with everyone else. I wasn't some freak show weirdo outcast. Then it all came crashing down when we walked outside together and I saw my father waiting for me. He was parked all crooked, which meant he had probably started drinking early and he was leaning against his car wearing a stained tank top. I froze. I never really thought he would show up here. School had become my only saving grace, my only escape. He aggressively walked up to us, split apart our hands and said, you won't be seeing my dumbass daughter again. Got it? She's a manipulative, evil beach that will tear out your heart. He tried to pull me away and I yanked my arm away from him and stood back. A few students took notice and started staring. A couple of them even started filming us on their phones. I said, I'm not going anywhere with you and you have no idea what you're talking about. Ethan, my knight in shining armor, backed me up. Yeah, I know who your daughter is, probably a lot better than you do, and she's definitely not what you describe. My father glanced around at all the kids filming, got nervous and walked away. Before he got back into his car, he said, you and me are gonna have a little talk when you get home, young lady. I was terrified. I had no idea what he might do. Ethan offered to let me stay at his place and I didn't want to trouble him. I called my Uncle Ray instead and told him everything. He told me to meet him at my house that night. I waited for Uncle Ray out front and walked in with him. My father saw us together and was shocked. Uncle Ray said, your daughters are coming to stay with me for a while. My father got in his face, over my dead body. Uncle Ray was older, tougher, and ex-military. My father was a wimp when it came to being physical. Uncle Ray commanded, when I figure everything out, I'll let you know what's next. Until then, sit tight, you abusive joke of a father. And if you want to make this difficult, go ahead. That hit my dad where it really hurt. He knew Ray would beat his butt, and there was nothing he could do about it. I loved every second of it. Lucy stood in the middle of the room, fear in her eyes and frozen. She didn't know whose side to choose. I took her hand hand and said, "It's not good for you to be here with him. It's not healthy or kind, and it won't help you." My father watched her closely, expecting her side with him. She nodded in agreement with me. Uncle Ray said, "Pack your bags. You're probably gonna be gone for a long time." As we were walking out, my father became more violent and said, "You stupid toxic beaches will thank me for what I've done. You'll see." To my surprise, Uncle Ray slugged him so hard across the face, I saw his tooth fly across the room and land on the coffee table, right next to his empty beer can. Uncle Ray looked down at him and said, "How dare you disrespect your beautiful daughters like that? I thought Dad taught you better." I was wrong. As we were walking out, I had heard my father crying and whimpering, a truly broken, shameful man. It wasn't hard for Uncle Ray to get full custody of us after a judge heard us talk for an hour. My dad didn't even fight it. My life's never been better, and Ethan comes over a few nights a week for dinner. Uncle Ray loves him and has welcomed him into his home. I get to walk down the school hallways holding hands with Ethan and feeling like a normal kid. He even took me to the homecoming dance where I got to dance and laugh and just have fun. Lucy's happier than ever now as well. She told me she just got her first crush. I'm so happy for her.